Start where you are. Hey all, welcome to another podcast. Just got one for you this month. Things have been a little busy. This one's an interesting one. These thoughts, I listened to this YouTube video. I'll find it. I'll paste the link in the resources. But as I'm listening to this YouTube story, it's beautiful. It's prolific. It reminds me a lot. It's just kind of like this montage of lectures that someone put together by Jordan Peterson. And he's just talking about the beauty in doing your job, whether it be a server at a restaurant or a plumber or a mailman, just doing your job with excellence, and how regardless of what job you're doing, there's no job tedious, there's no job mundane if you're trying to do it well. And that really got me thinking kind of about my life, and take a sip of coffee, and kind of like where things started to go right for me. And I really do believe that until you live through what he's talking about, the beauty in doing stuff right, maybe it won't resonate. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a story to kind of talk about the beauty in doing things that are right. And not only is that right for the world, but it will make your life better, I believe. So I think this was starting out back in, I have no script, guys. I'm just going off my brain here because I kind of was inspired by this video and I just want to blur it out. Sorry if I ramble a little bit, but I think I'm going to start this off around 2009, maybe 2010. I'm in my mid-20s and the stock market just crashed. I was making a lot of money as a realtor, but I kept a part-time job at the restaurant. And one of my goals in life was to get out of working at this family restaurant that I worked at. It was like a typical casual dining restaurant. And I could not go anywhere else because I was raised poor, didn't go to school at all. So I had no education. I was very arrogant, very prideful, and had a chip on my shoulder, very angry at the world because I was poor and just stuck in this restaurant job. So it took me about 10 years to figure out something that paid more than serving tables. And one of those jobs that paid well was real estate. And I didn't particularly have a passion for real estate, but it was something that I could do because it didn't require a high school diploma or a college degree. You essentially took a test, which I'd never taken a test before in my life, passed the test, which is what I did, and boom, you're selling real estate. And I had some friends in the business that didn't just come to me overnight, but I had some friends in the business, so I learned a little bit about the ins and outs of it through those friends. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. And this is about 2 or 3 years before the stock market crashed. So I got my license and was selling real estate. And I actually, right in the middle of the housing bubble, I had no clue I was in the middle of the housing bubble. I was selling homes like crazy. And then I was like, this is my ticket out of the restaurant. I'm not going to be a server. Life started to feel better. Coffee tastes better. Flowers smelt better. I'm not going to be a restaurant employee the rest of my life. And then the stock market crashes and I'm back at the restaurant. Insult to injury, I decide to accept that as my fate. This is my fate. I might as well do management training in a job I don't want. And I got denied for management training. So not only was I stuck in this restaurant job, but I got denied for management training because I was kind of a screw off. I was very arrogant. I did enough at this restaurant to stay employed. I didn't really go above and beyond. I just stayed employed because I knew real estate was my ticket out and things were going so well, I cared less and less about the job. So I was just kind of there screwing around in case, it was nice to have it because real estate was commission only. And I could I could feed myself and pay rent with tips from the restaurant. So anywho, I realized at this moment in my life, it all happens around 2009, 2010. I was in my mid-20s. Stock market crashes. I stopped losing any. My income from real estate absolutely stops, which it just so happens I bought a bunch of homes to flip because that's what was happening. And long story short, I find myself having to owe money on the debts that I accumulated through the income I suppose would keep coming. And then the economy crashed. And then I get denied as a manager. And I'm just like stuck in life, stuck in this vortex. My dad was forced into early retirement. My mom hadn't worked since the 70s, and she didn't really have a career. It was kind of a gig. So I don't have any other uncles. I don't have any grandparents. I had no one to go to for career advice on what to do next. And nobody in our time had actually had the economy crash like this. And I think this story is very relevant to the current times with the pandemic and everything being closed down, because I was stuck. I was angry, and I was just like, what is this, my destiny? And through a series of, I don't know, maybe reflection, I decided I can build myself up from this. You know, I'm not being fed to the lions. Yeah, I'm underemployed, or I'm on the bottom of the economic totem pole. But I had my health. I had the library. I had the internet. What else did I have? You know, I could speak English, which is what, you know, a billion people speak. I did have resources available, and I could pay the bills with my restaurant job. Some of them I did not have. Well, let me back up. I could not pay all my bills with my restaurant job. I had lots of credit card payments that went late, and I had to choose which ones to pay. But the food and shelter I could pay for with my job. So that was a phenomenal resource to just see, like, okay, I'm not happy where I am, but if I start over and I do this right, do any job I work, if I try to do the job well, I will get momentum in the right direction. So I started looking at the restaurant job as not a job, as a get by, but this is something that's going to give me momentum. And it's the momentum that's going to push me into something else. I'm going to do this well, and I'm going to have a reputation here to being a hard worker and going above and beyond. And like Michael Jordan said, and I didn't articulate this at the time, but I'm going to be the first one to show up and the last one to leave. And it's not because the restaurant job was something I wanted to do. It was an opportunity for me to feed myself. Again, I had nothing. And when the economy crashed, I realized this curse that I had working at the restaurant for 10 years was actually a blessing. When there were a lot of CEOs jumping out of windows, committing suicide. I didn't have that stress. Yeah, I couldn't pay the credit card bills on my investment property. Boom, it hurt my credit score. They're not going to put me in prison. I didn't have any kids at the time. So what would happen if I started working harder at my job? And then after my job, continue working harder in some skill that didn't require college, because that just wasn't an option for me. Not only did I have the money to do it, I was too dumb. I couldn't even do fractions. I was that stupid. It was embarrassing. So, long story short, I started serving tables, coming to work clean, ironing my clothes, shaving regularly, light exercise, because I knew that was healthy, and then coming home and studying. And I ended up picking IT to get into because I met some individuals at the restaurant that told me there were some certain paths that I could go to get certifications, technical certifications, and none of them promised a job, but it gave me an avenue that didn't require a high school diploma, testing in certain competencies. So that was my life. I stopped really seriously drinking. I stopped looking at life as fatalistic. I stopped looking at my job as a prison and started looking at it as an opportunity. And I would do little side gigs where I'd fix computers for people, and I would do like the best job I could to fix the computer, to be proactive, to serve the individuals that were giving me the opportunity, the privilege to work on their computer. And not only did I get offers to do more gigs or more computer gigs to fix people's virus computers, but at work, a lot of people wanted that. A lot of my regulars that would come in routinely would start giving me recommendations on places to go for a job, or or people to talk to for opportunities. And things started to open up. Even at work, I was encouraged to reapply for the management training. I didn't do it because it wasn't the ultimate goal that I wanted to do. But the fact that they asked me to reapply, it was a sign that I was headed in the right direction. And, fast forward 10, 15 years later, I have had a phenomenal career in IT. Phenomenal career. And it's not that I'm some Facebook Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs. No, I'm not that at all. But I still come to that place with the humility of I'm a lowly restaurant server, with the meekness of, yes, I can do absolutely more than my title, but let me show you. I'm not going to tell you. Let the fruits of my labor be the benefit of my talent. Let it be the result of my talent. And I'm still building from there. So now when I see in this pandemic, a lot of people who are unemployed, underemployed, let this little story be kind of a demonstration that this isn't Hollywood. What I told you didn't happen overnight. And I'm not living, and to this day, honestly, my life isn't perfect. I still have to balance the budget. I'm not a millionaire. But the stress of no career, the stress of no financial direction, no career direction, that's gone because I built myself up. I started where I was and I made a plan and I went forward. And when my path failed, I got help, I got advice. I didn't give up. I didn't quit. So there is true merit, even if wherever you are, if you're working hard and you're doing it well. I don't care if you're a cashier at a department store, do it well. You will get recognized. There will be momentum for you in the right direction. And you'll find that doing that really well will transpire into other directions of your life, whether it's your financial or your physical or maybe even spiritual. Try to do whatever it is. Really, work really hard at it. Try to take pride in your work. And I mean the good type of pride where you're proud of what you've accomplished, not arrogance. Yeah, and you can do that. You can get there. And honestly, here I'm talking to you right now, I'm not going to brag. I'm debt free. I have well over 6-figure income. My home's paid for with cash. My cars are paid for. I still don't have a high school diploma. That's a testament of what I'm telling you right here. I still don't have a high school diploma. I've graduated college, but I tested out for that. So competence was how I got into college, not some type of piece of paper. So let that be a testament. I'm going somewhere. I'm doing something. My retirement accounts are fully funded. Retirement isn't that far away from me, and I'm in my mid-30s. So let that be a testament. Like you can start with where you are and commit to building yourself out, building yourself up. And there's something beautiful in that person who takes pride in their work. Think about that in these times with the pandemic and the election and all the crazy stuff happening. I hope this little story has been helpful, and I will talk to you all later.